Tonight, we have a one-on-one with Ferguson's police chief as the city is thrust into the national spotlight once again. Frustrated, Chief Troy Doyle says Ferguson is the target of protesters, and he is heartbroken one of his own officers fights to live. Lauren Traeger has more.
Thank you for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Lauren, for having me.
So we want to talk, of course, about Officer Travis Brown. I know you've been at his bedside. What can you tell us about his condition? How is he doing? How is his family doing?
Obviously, it's a tough situation. You know, Travis is still in critical but stable condition. You know, we just keeping him in our prayers. Been up there every day. The family's been there every day by his bedside. You know, we all just in solidation in prayer right now. You know, just hoping that he comes through this.
As a person, as an officer, how would you describe him?
Man, the model police officer. I mean, you can take Officer Travis Brown and pluck him in any community in this region, and he would fit in. I mean, he's just that type of guy. You know, he's very interactive with the public. He loves the community engagement portion of it. Plus, he likes to be a policeman, you know, so he's just a model police officer.
We saw yesterday body camera footage that he was wearing. Is that video hard for you to watch?
It is. And I have my moments with that. You know, it is tough, you know. The thing that day, Travis was riding with me that whole day. He's telling me, say, Chief, whatever speaking engagement you have to do, just go ahead and do it. I got your back. Don't worry about that. And he ended up getting hurt. That's what hurts more than anything. You know, he the one that ended up getting hurt.
When you see the video, and the public has now seen the video of those individuals shaking the fence, ultimately breaking the fence, how would you characterize their behavior?
Oh, it was definitely, I consider, aggressive, violent behavior. What's disappointing, Lauren, is that we knew that there was a planned protest for that evening, and my team was given instructions of, we'll let them protest peacefully, exercise their First Amendment rights. However, we had two rules, no violence and no destruction of property.
Would you describe them as protesters or as agitators?
Everybody there didn't do anything wrong, so I don't want to say that the whole crowd. There was, just like any protest, you always have a few agitators that are in there that cause the most harm. And this particular night, these individuals that we arrested were the ones who caused the most harm.
And let's speak about Elijah Gant specifically. He's now charged with assaulting Officer Brown. Some have said that perhaps his actions were accidental or non-intentional. What would your response be to that?
When I hear that, I get emotionally disturbed by that, because if you watch the video carefully, Officer Travis Brown gives instructions to another officer to cut him off. Travis Brown goes in a different direction. He stands there and he waits for this individual, and this guy just ran full force at him as if he wasn't even standing there. It was just a violent assault on my police officer. So when I hear people say that, it infuriates me.
You have had a number of press conferences now. You have been releasing video on a rolling basis. It's been coming out. Given that there was criticism of the Ferguson Police Department 10 years ago after the death of Michael Brown for a lack of communication and transparency, is that on your mind? Are you trying to do the opposite?
We are. We heard all the cries from 2014. Obviously, I was a St. Louis County police officer back then, but when I came to this police department, that was one of my priorities. We were going to be transparent. We were going to be an effective law enforcement agency in Ferguson. I've hired a full-time public information officer, and my instructions to her was, whenever we get information like this, let's get it out immediately. And that's what we've been doing.
In some of those press conferences, though, you have appeared somewhat frustrated that Ferguson is in the spotlight like this.
Yes.
Are you frustrated, and if so, why?
I am, because I know the changes that have taken place with this police department. Let's keep in mind that in 2014, nearly no law enforcement agency in the country were wearing body cams. Ferguson Police Department was one of the first ones that started wearing body-worn cameras. Not only that, Lauren, we have dash cameras in our police vehicles. We have been through implicit bias training, de-escalation training, sensitivity training. We have diversified the police departments. We changed a lot, you know, and it's just unfortunate that we continue to be I guess, considered ground zero for everything. And it's like, at this particular point, being that we have changed everything that I've just mentioned, Ferguson Police Department probably should be the police department that the activist community should come to and say, hey, look, you other police departments, you should be modeling what Ferguson Police Department is doing.
There's some people who are actually claiming that you may be adding to the rhetoric. Some have said that you should tone down on the divisiveness. What is your response to that?
Those who say that, I can tell you this, I would not tone down where I'm at. I have a officer that is seriously injured, laying in the hospital. Not only an officer, but a good friend of mine. I'm never ever going to tone down my feelings towards that. What people consider divisiveness, I don't know. But what I'm not going to tolerate is anyone hurting any of these police officers. These officers come out here each and every day to protect innocent people. Some of these people they don't even know, but they put their lives on the line each and every day for this community. And the last thing I'm going to do is accept them being hurt. I'm just not. And if it calls me a job, if it calls me a position, I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable with what I'm saying and who I am today, and it's just not going to happen on my watch.
Can you understand, though, maybe frustrations from people who see other instances of police conduct? I'm thinking of maybe Sonia Massey recently. Do you feel like more might still need to be done in terms of police reform in general, or do you think people may just never be satisfied?
Absolutely. I mean, policing is evolving. I mean, we always have to continue to get better. And if anyone who follows me on social media, even after the Sonia Massey incident, I've actually tweeted out because there were people who were trying to justify that. And I said that if you're one of those individuals that are trying to justify this, then you're part of the problem also. So I have advocated on both sides of this.
What do you think of the officer's response to what was happening that night?
What we did that night was just how they train. When we identified the individuals who we knew was responsible for breaking the fence, our officers calmly walked out. In 2014, if you remember, everybody had riot gear on. None of my officers had riot gear on that evening. So there's nothing that could have triggered the crowd other than us trying to effect an arrest.
Do you wish Officer Brown had been wearing some more protective equipment?
That's a very good question, Lauren, and I question myself about that too. Would have been better off having maybe a helmet on that day? I guess one can wonder at this point.
What do you want the public to hear and know?
I want the public to know that, look, as I mentioned before, law enforcement is not perfect. We're just like any other Fortune 500 company. You got good employees, we got bad employees. We do our best to try to identify who those bad employees are. But let's keep in mind that the majority of these officers who come to work each and every day come with the purpose of doing what's right. Even after today, there's going to be some mistakes. Some mistakes is going to happen with the Ferguson Police Department. There's going to be mistakes that's going to happen in other police departments. Our goal is to try to minimize those mistakes. But again, please know that the majority of our police officers are here to do what's right. And we cannot throw the baby away in the bathwater, as they say. We're here to do what's right.